Hello there, I am Saem TARIQ. Welcome to my tutorials. We will be solving one of the past paper of ICT today. These series of tutorials will help you to see how will I solve all the past papers P2 and P4. Let's have a look at our today's paper. This is May-June 2008 paper 2. So 2.5 hours, as you can see. You work as an ICT consultant for Tuara Beach Hotel. You are going to analyze the details of the hotel's minibus services. Using a suitable software package, open the file j8bus.csv. As you know, a CSV file is a comma separated value file, which means it's a generic file. It will open up in any generic software, which means Excel or any other spreadsheet software. It will open up in all of them. XLS is only meant for Excel, Microsoft Excel, but generic file formats will open up in any spreadsheet programs. This is why we are provided with CSV files, not with XLS or XLSS formats. Let's open up j8bus.csv right now. Okay, here we go. First of all, it's much better that you analyze the sheet first. Have a look what you have. Have the bus code, due, arrive time, late, minutes, route, passengers and destination. Because since it's data analysis, first of all you should analyze and have a look what has been provided to you. Okay, you have to have good analysis skills. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so the question starts like this. Point number 2, insert 4 new rows at the top of the worksheet. Pretty easy to do that. I'm sure anyone can do that who has opened up Excel even once. Here we go. Done with this. Next, in cell A1 and A2, delays and average. In A1, we will type delays. Oops, sorry for the spelling. Delays. And in A2, we'll type average. And in B2, maximum. And in cell C2 we'll type long. Oops, I made it too long. Here we go. Next part. In the late column, enter formula to calculate the number of minutes by which the bus was late. This must be displayed in 00 time format. If the bus was early, it should display this. So basically what we have to do is we have to display if the bus was late. For example, in this it was supposed to arrive at 9:56 and it arrived at 9:57, so it was late. It was on time in this case. It was again late over here. So we subtract the values from arrive minus due to get the late. Otherwise it should display 0 if it was early. Obviously, since we have a comparison, we have a condition, we have to use a function known as if. If will do what? If will provide us with the test. For example, if the arrived value is greater than the due, obviously subtract arrived from due, and if this is not true, display 0, right? And this is what I get, but this is not the requirement we were supposed to get in a specific time format. So what we do is we right click, go to format cells and time, and we'll display it in this particular time format. Let's come to the next part. If part 5, in the minutes column, enter a function to calculate the minutes by which the bus was late as an integer value. So please read the keywords, these are really important. So we have a function known as minutes, just the way, minute, not minutes, the way we have for hour, second, and for days we have day, for year we have year, for month we have month. Okay, we'll talk about this later on. So all I have to do is use the minute function, give a reference, and I can extract the minutes out. Point number 6, in the root column, enter a formula to extract the route number from the bus code. Here we have the bus code and we have to extract the route number from here. So whenever we are given some codes, these codes contain different characters, digits, which are placed somewhere within the code. In this case, we need to extract the root number, which is the third character of the bus code. So there are 3 functions which are known as the splitting string functions. We have the left, we have the right, and we have the mid. Since we have to extract from within the string, we will use a function known as mid. Mid function does what? Mid will help you to extract the third character and just extract the third one. If I was supposed to extract the third and the fourth, I would use 2. But since I have to extract only the third one, I'll use 1. So text A6, start from the third character and only extract the third character, and here we go, we get the roots. You can see over here, we're getting all the roots. Let's come to the next part now. Point number 7. In the passenger column, use a lookup function to show the maximum number of seats on the bus for each route. Use the file j8seats.csv. So first of all, don't start applying the function. Open up your file first. That is the first thing you have to do. This is your file. Now you can start applying the function. We have to use a search function which is known as vertical lookup. I would always prefer you using the vertical lookup because it gives you the exact match. Helps you to get the exact match because of the 0 value that you provide at the end. Lookup, on the other hand, gives you the proximate match. So let's use VLOOKUP. The first thing that VLOOKUP requires is the root. Okay, this is the lookup value. The array has been provided over here. This is the array. Do not include the first field names. Extract from the second column, this one, and 0, as you can see, false is exact match, and true, which is -1, is for approximate. We don't want approximate, we want false, we want 0 because we want the exact match. Aha, I get NA. You know why? Because NA basically means that the lookup value is not appropriate. Why is it not appropriate? Why is it giving us NA? Look over here. What is lookup value? The lookup value over here is this. But this is not a value on its own. 1 is not 1 over here. Right? 1 is basically is coming through a function. It's actually a function. One more thing. I'll just explain you one more thing. Whenever you type numbers in a spreadsheet, numbers are always supposed to appear on the right hand side. Do you see this number? It's appearing on the right hand side. It's not a number, it's not a value. That's why it's appearing on the left hand side. So first of all, what we have to do is we should convert this into a value using the value function. Once we do that, you will see 1 shifts on the right hand side, which means now 1 has been converted into a value. It's not merely a function. It is not merely just a function. So once I do that, you can see it works. I can replicate and it gives me all the passengers, since the lookup value is now appropriate one. Let's come back to the question. Next, point number 8. In the destination column, use a lookup function to show the destination for the journey. The destination code is the 5th character of the bus code, and the destinations are held in J8 test. So again, we need to open up the file first. Here we are. Let's come back to the question and see what the question basically is once more. In the destination column, use a lookup function to show the destination for the journey. The destination code is the 5th character of the bus code now. So we have to get the destination. So is equal to V lookup right, and you can see over here, here we go. Oops, no, this is not what we need. Destination. We have these. So the destination is the 5th character of the bus code. This means the lookup value. We have not been provided with the lookup value. What do we do now? Well, very simple. Think over it. We have to have the lookup value, but lookup value is within the bus code, and it's the 5th character of the bus code. So obviously we again use a mid function. Here we go. It's the 5th value, and it is the 5th value, so right, so we'll use 1 for that. Lookup value, table array. Is this not our table array? Yes, it is. We have to extract from the second column 1, 2, and we want the exact match. So here we go. We get the value. Next part of the question is point number 9. Replicate the formula entered in step 4 to 8 for every journey. We have already done that. In cell A8, enter a function to calculate the average delay for all the journey using the minutes column. So we have to use a function known as the average function, and this average function will give us the average of the minutes. Right, we got that. Next part. In cell B3, enter a function to calculate the longest delay. Since we know there's a function which is known as the max function. If you have viewed my previous tutorials of data analysis, I have explained all the functions and formulas in my previous lecture. Okay, maximum value of the minutes will be displayed here. Now let's look at the next one. In cell C3, enter a function to calculate the number of delays where the bus was more than 4 minutes late. Aha! So we want to find, enter a function to calculate the number of delays. This means we need to count. Good. Count what? Count with the condition. So condition is equal to count if, right? Provide the range. Yes, we do. We have provided the range. Do what? Next. Criteria. Criteria is greater than 4. Am I not right? Yes. So we have 38 values where the minute is greater than 4. Next. Sort rows 6 to 133 into ascending order of routes from 6 to 133, right? So what we do is basically we'll come into sort and filter, custom sort, right? Sort what? Let's read again. Okay, we have to sort route into ascending. Sort rows 1 to 6 to 133 in descending order of route, and then descending order of minutes. So minutes in descending and route in ascending. So route should be in ascending order, right? And minutes, let's read again, and because you have to be confirmed about this, descending order of minutes. Okay, so largest to smallest and smallest to largest. Here we go. Right, so we've done that. Next part. You can see we have NA appearing over here. You know the reason why? Because route 8 has not been provided over here. I'll just show you. There is no 8 over here. That's why it is giving an NA, which means it's right. There's nothing wrong from our side, so we can continue. Next part of the question is done. Format cells A3, B3 and C3 as integers. So we'll right click and we'll format them into integer, which is 0 places. Done with that as well. Right. Format all the cells in the minutes, route and passenger to be right aligned. Minutes, route and passengers. Minutes, route and passengers to be right aligned. Right. Format all cells in the destination column to be center aligned. Format all the cells in rows 1, 2 and 5 to be bold and center aligned. 1, 2 and 5. You can hold control and select multiple things. Bold and what was it? Bold and center aligned. Yes, done. Right. Select only those, which means we have to use filtering. Select only those buses where the due time of between 11 and 11:30 inclusive, which means you have to include them as well. Due time, filter, we'll filter it, and we have to find between 11 and 11:30. Here we go. Right, create a header which says this, and a footer which contains your name, center number, and candidate number. So what we'll do is we'll go to file, we'll go to print, we'll go to page setup, header footer, custom header, we'll have this. Okay, we'll come to custom footer. You can have your name, your center number, and you can have your candidate number. Right, next, save and print all details of this extract, adjusting the page layout if necessary, so that the whole pay table fits on a single page. Right, save and print all details. Make sure that the contents of the cells are visible. So first of all, we need to print the values. Right, from all the data, select only those buses with the minutes from all the data, which means now we have to switch off the filter again. We have taken one printout of the values, now we switched off. Okay, where the minutes are greater than 10, so we'll come to minutes and we'll filter, and we will specify greater than 10 here. There we go. Next, change the wording of the heading to formula used. I'll select again, I didn't do that. And now what I'll do is I'll go to oops, I didn't display the formulas. You know how to display the formulas? You'll press Control and this, Control and the tilde. You know what the tilde is? It's below the escape key on your keyboard. It's known as tilde. So below the escape, you press Control and tilde, you can see the formulas of the functions. Now I'll go to file, I'll go to print, I'll go to page setup, and I'll make it landscape and it'll fit to 1. Here we go, and I'll make it till A4 since I'll be printing on A4 size paper. Here we go, I can see that now. And I have to change my header, and the header will be this. I will take a printout of this. Right, and I'll come back to my values and I'll adjust them again. Next, print the extract in landscape ordination, showing all the formulas instead of values. Ensure that all formulas and labels are fully visible. Show row and column headings. 24. Select all the data into root order. So I'll select all the data back, which means to switched off, and root order. So I have to make it in descending format of root order. Done that. In cell A1 to I3 of a new sheet, create a table that looks like this. Number of buses. We have to create exactly something like this, but note the numbers shown are examples, they are not correct. So these numbers that are 9, these are not actual values. But yes, we do have to make exactly something like this. Let's start doing that. So first of all, from A1 till I3 of a new sheet, A1 till I3, which is still here, I have to create something like this. Right? I'll highlight it so that I remember it. First of all, what I'll do is I'll simply merge this, and I will first of all display it. Yes, I have to follow the same sequence. I'll make it bold. I'll line it to the right, to the left hand side. Then I have root 1, 2, 3, 4 till 9. So here we go. Use tab, and I will change the numbers afterward. I'm just trying to save my time, but in your paper you have to type them in. I have the privilege right now because I have the PSD file. You won't have the PSD file in your exams, so you have to type them in. It takes time, but make sure data entry is very important. You don't make any mistake. It's very important that you take care of case sensitiveness, spaces. Yes, spaces, because space itself is a character. If you add a space somewhere where it's not required, you might have a problem, so you have to be careful about such kind of things. Here we go. Done. Now let's see what the question is. Make sure cells A1 till A11 are merged and so on. We've done that. 25. In this table, enter formula to count the number of buses that are 5 or more minutes late. Right. For each bus route, you may sort the data into route order and use ranges within the sorted data or an extra column to help you. You know what the question basically saying is that we have to find out how many buses are late in route 1. Okay, and the condition is that these buses that are 5 or more minutes late. And let me just show you the sheet so that you have more idea. We are here. We have to find out that in route 1 how many buses are late more than 5. In route 2 how many buses, we have to count how many buses are late more than 5. Then in 3, this is why we have been asked and we have been given an option to sort the data into route order, and we can use ranges within the sorted data to find out the answer. So the best way to solve this problem will be to use COUNTIF. Well, very simple. Is equal to count if, right? We can even use count ifs over here, but today we'll just try to use COUNTIF. We have to provide the range of route 1. So is this not the range for route 1? Yes, it is. Our condition says greater than 5, yes or no? It does. Yes, we don't have any value which is greater than 5 over here. I'll replicate this. Obviously it will not give me the right answer for all of them. I have to manually change it. All I'll do now is for 2 I'll change the range, and I'll keep on doing this for the rest of them. This is for my 2. I'll do it for 3 now. I know it's time consuming, it's something that might irritate you, but obviously you have to fulfill the requirements. Oops, I went too fast. 3, right? Make sure that you do not select something extra. It may result in wrong answer, and obviously examiner won't like it. For 4, we have to select 4, and then it's 5. Make sure you do not confuse the numbers. 5 now, so 5 will be, here we go, this is for 5. Then we have for 6, that's for 6, here we go, for 6. Then we have for 7, that's for 7. 8, we are reaching the end now. You can see that we are quite close. 8 starts from here. There are very few values of 8. And then we have for 9. That's the last one. Wow, we've done it. And here we go, 9. So we're done. Now we have the values accordingly. You can see that. Still you have to confirm, you have to see, probably you have not used some wrong ranges because it might result in wrong answers. You have to be careful about that. Okay, next. 26. Copy cells A2 to I3 and transport them from A5 to B5. You know what transposing is? You have to paste them over here. But before you transpose, it's very important that you lock the cell ranges. Well, why is that so? Because once you transpose, your cell reference might change. Now what do I mean by cell reference? It means once you copy the formula, the function from one cell to the other cell, its reference or the references that are being used will obviously change as well. Well, you can't allow that to happen, because if that happens, means the answer will be wrong. And I think so. We are almost done. Okay. So route 7, route 8, and all these have been done. Route 8, route 7. Okay. So now what we do is we need to Okay, let's read again. A2, we have to copy from A2 till here. Okay, I'll copy it. And from A5 to B13, A5 to B13, I will simply transpose it. Can you see that? Right? Create a header which says this, okay, and a footer which contains your center number, and you will take a printout of this as well, the way done before. Right? So we're done till point 28. Right. You have been asked to prepare a graph for the manager comparing the number of trips to each destination and the average number of minutes late for each destination. Count the number of trips for each destination. Okay. Calculate the average number of minutes late for each destination. So first of all, what we have to do is, somewhere over here, what we need to do is, we have to count the number of trips for each destination. So we can simply write over here, number of trips, right? Then we need to find average number of minutes late. And then extract only destination where the average number is. We'll do this afterwards. So first of all, count the number of trips to each destination. Well, first of all, I need the destination. Okay, so what you have to do is, first of all, you need to have the destinations over here. So I'll copy the destinations and I'll paste my destinations over here. Right, I have them now here. Right, I have my destinations. Next part basically says, I'll count the number of trips to each destination. So I'll use the COUNTIF. So here am I, the range. That's what COUNTIF requires first, and then the criteria. Is this not the criteria? Yes. Now we replicate. Before I replicate, remember, the ranges will always be absolute, which means they will not increment. Right, done with this. Next part. Calculate the average number of minutes late for each destination. Average number of minutes late for each destination. What does it mean by that? We have to find out that how many were late, average number of minutes late for each destination, right? So for that, basically what we will do is, now in order to calculate the average number of minutes late for each destination, first of all we have to arrange the destination into ascending order, and we can use average if for this. Average if basically does what? Average if will need first of all the range. Okay, first of all we need to find out the range. This is the range. Okay, then we have to provide the criteria. Here's the criteria. Then we have to provide, oh sorry, I'm really sorry. First of all we need to provide is the string where the names are. Then we have to provide the destination, which means the criteria, and then the numeric value, which is the minutes, because it says the average range, which is numeric. So we get this, right? And obviously what we need to do is we have to make the ranges static. Ranges have to be static, obviously, otherwise, but your criteria will not be static. And here we go. Right, next part. Extract only the destinations with the average number of minutes is greater than 3.5. So we need to filter out all the destinations which are greater than 3.5. Here we go, we get 3 values. Use this extract to produce a graph comparing the number of buses sampled and the average number of minutes late for each destination. Select the most appropriate type of graph or chart to display the data. Okay, make sure that primary and secondary axes are appropriately scaled so that both data series are clearly visible. Rescale the average number of minutes so that the minimum value is set to 3. Ensure that the chart is fully labeled. Place your name, save, and print this. 5. So we need to filter out all the destinations which are greater than 3.5. Here we go, we get 3 values. Use this extract to produce a graph comparing the number of buses sampled and the average number of minutes late for each destination. Select the most appropriate type of graph or chart to display the data. Okay, make sure that primary and secondary axes are appropriately scaled so that both data series are clearly visible. Rescale the average number of minutes so that the minimum value is set to 3. Ensure that the chart is fully labeled. Place your name, send number, and number on this chart. Save and print this chart. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to make a graph or a chart. Okay, we'll use the line, we can use dotted line, there's no problem with that. So we have to find out graph comparing the number of buses sampled and the average number. Okay, sampled and the average number of minutes late for each destination. So we need to select them, all 3 of them, and we'll go to insert. We will select the scattered, probably this will be the right one. Done. And we have to, we can change the series. It doesn't say so, but we can. Let me just tell you how we can change the series. For example, the series 1 is this is your number of trips, so I can change this into series 1 edit will be the number of trips, right? And your series 2 are your average number of minutes late. So this is how you can change the legends. You want them, you don't want them, I don't know. It does not say to have them, so we can simply delete them, but I've told you how to edit them. The next part says that rescale the average number of minutes so that the minimum value is set to 3. So that the minimum value is set to 3. Here we go. But we have not selected, we do not have the secondary axis. So first of all, what we do is we go to format data series and we enable the secondary axis. That is the first thing we do, right? Okay, so what we'll do now is we, instead of using the scattered, we'll try to use the line one because the user has a problem with that. Let's select the destination, the number of trips, and the average number of minutes. We'll get this. Now all we have to do is, we don't need the legends, we have to enable the where is the question paper? We have to find out the destination. So basically now we have to do is, I have the file back. Okay, let's read the question again. What we're supposed to do is we have to make, let me get back to the question. Use Excel to produce a graph. Basically it will be a chart or a graph to compare the number of buses sampled and the average number of minutes late for each destination. So what we'll do is we will basically select all these 3, insert, and we will basically make graph. We have to enable the secondary axis, so I'll right click, I'll go to formatted series and enable the secondary access. Further, the question says that the minimum value should be set to 3. It should set to 3. Let me read again the question paper. Make sure that the primary and secondary axes are properly scaled so that both data series are clearly visible. Rescale the average number of minutes. So the minimum value is set to 3. So we have to set the minimum value of this to 3. We come here and we set the minimum value to 3. And here we go. So this is what we have. This is our final extract. And we're done with this part.